Member for Drysdale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And may the record show it was the member of Nightcliff who fired the first volley, and I'm simply returning. It took the first sitting for our speech to try and be controlled. Orwell's villain came out in the first sitting. I do not care what language I use. I'm free to use my language. Do not care for the sensitivities, member for Nightcliff. If you do not like hearing the word drunks, understand the people of Drysdale elected me for a very firm reason. And I'll explain, Madam Speaker, because whilst we've been in this chamber tonight, what is happening in Drysdale, it is a war zone. This is what I'm dealing with. This is quite literally came to me an hour ago. Message by a constituent. Clinton, it's out of control. People are getting bricks thrown at them and the site is facilitating gang meetings. People are openly walking with machetes and poles as weapons. A barricade was built to block the road with cars having bottles and bricks thrown at them. That is why the people of Drysdale put me here. I will not be silenced by the National Socialists to tell me how I can use my language. I will represent Drysdale. They put a soldier in this chamber because they are at war, and I will fight for them, Madam Speaker. This week, I am proud we delivered Declan's Law, we lowered the age, we delivered ram raids, post and boast, nuisance public drinking and protecting workers. And I will not be sorry for any of that. To the people that are drinking and carrying machetes, you have come up against the wrong member. I will fight for Drysdale until it is safe. And I put this on the public record to the member for Nightcliff. Since my methods are so heinous to her, how about we take all the problem tenets that you say I speak so despicably of, and we can move them to Nightcliff. It is on the public record. If the member for Nightcliff does not think that I can deliver for those constituents, I open the floor that she may take them. I wait her response eagerly, and this has been witnessed. We have the Housing Minister right here. I'm sure he can facilitate it. You speak of addiction. If you knew my story, member for Nightcliff, you would understand I know about this topic deeply, more deeply than you could understand I do. And so, yes, I take offence to the fact that I might not know what I'm talking about. The difference with you and me is I do not believe an addict, it is an excuse for them to hurt others. And no matter how close the addict is to me, how much I could love that person, it does not mean that they can harm others in the community, member for Nightcliff. I thank you, member for Johnston, for your speech earlier. It actually brought me down a notch. So thank you. I mean that. I've been worried, Madam Speaker, in this sitting of the use of race. Race has come up so much. And I do ask the opposition and the members of the crossbench that have defaulted to the use of race to not lower this chamber to that. At times, I feel like we've gone back 70, 80 years with the use of race in the parliament. I honestly grew up in this country as a boy at school in the 90s. I didn't think we would be having racial conversations in the parliament, but we are. We're here. I see it, but to default that what we're pushing is racially based. There is nothing in Declan's Law, there's nothing in lowering the age, there's nothing in ram raids, post and boast, nuisance public drinking, or protecting workers that is racist, Madam Speaker. If anyone can highlight it to me, please show me, because I will not support any race-based legislation. But it hasn't been shown to me. We've just heard weak arguments pushing that it's racial. and I find it an incredibly weak position. I find it lowers the chamber, and I ask all those opposite to raise the debate. I fully welcome questionings. I fully welcome an opposing position, but don't bring this down to the melatonin in someone's skin that somehow makes these laws not worthy, because that is a very weak position, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'll reserve the rest for our next sitting, but I hope in our next sitting we hear less of race and that the CLP's ideas, that the opposition and crossbench fight them on more noble grounds. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Blaine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a few contributions to make tonight, so I'll break them up a bit. I'd like to start by thanking the member for Mulca for his contribution tonight. He's a respected lawman in his own country, and I respect his contribution and his story that he brings. I'd like to echo the member for Drysdale and say that these laws that we've brought in these sittings will apply equally to all Territorians. There was a referendum last year, and the message that came loud and clear from that referendum is that Australians do not want to be divided. We want to be one people together. We have a long, proud Indigenous heritage, and we have people that have come from many nations, and we've come together to build what many call the luckiest country in the world. And now, in this day and age, growing up in Bachelor, it took me years to realise this, but I was colourblind. I didn't see, this colour or that colour. We were just all little Aussie kids running around together, But something has happened over the last 5, 10, 15 years, and race has come to the fore. And we now seem to, as a society, be trying to find ways to divide ourselves rather than to come together and to build on our common strengths and the values that unite us. And, it's well known that an enemy divided will fall. If we're being divided, who is our enemy? Sorry, I've gone off topic. Thank you, Member for Mulca. I look forward in the days, months and years to come to sitting and listening to you as I sit and listen to our Yolngu brothers and sisters in my electorate, in my community. I was born here, I grew up here. I've lost many cultural brothers and sisters, as you have, and I'm passionate to work towards a future where all Territory kids will have an opportunity to walk into worlds and become all that they can be. Thank you, Member for Johnston, for staying here till the bitter end, to this time of night. I appreciate it. We may not always agree on the solutions, but I think we agree on what a lot of the problems are. And I appreciate that you are still here and engaging in this debate. I look forward, I can see that you've had a career in mediation, and I can see the weight that lends to your contribution, and I thank you for it.
Member for Blaine, you can't refer to people being here or not being here in the chamber. So, and if you can direct your comments through me as the Speaker. Thank you.
My apologies, Madam Speaker. Where was I? We agree on the problems, but I think from time to time we'll disagree on the solutions. And I look forward to our debates in this chamber and out of this chamber as to the best solutions over time. I thank the member for Nightcliff for her contribution, and I think the member for Drysdale summed up my comments. I'd like to thank the member for Arnhem and the member for Arafura for supporting our sentencing amendments tonight for protecting workers, so thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your service in this chamber over these sittings. You've been a stern but fair master or mistress, whichever you prefer. I'm proud to stand here as a member of the new Finocchiaro CLP government, which has come to this chamber with a mandate to rebuild the territory. We took to Territorians our plan to reduce crime, rebuild the economy, and restore our lifestyle. Such a simple three-point plan, but it really sums up all the various things that people were saying to us on the hustings. In the area of reducing crime, when we announced our reducing crime package, I just said yes, because that was what people were crying out for. It's bringing back consequences. When I was on the doorstep and I would say that we plan to bring back consequences, people's eyes would light up and they would just say, yes, yes, please do it. And I think that's what our mandate will be, to restore consequences for bad behaviour and rewarding good behaviour, Madam Speaker. Expanding school-based policing and bringing back truancy officers, because the best place for kids to be is in school, not running around wagging school. Holding parents accountable. Addressing the root causes of offending. There's been a bit of discussion in this chamber, this sittings, about, and outside this chamber, that the things that we're bringing are coming in at the tail end of offending. While you're just, coming in after people have already done. We have been very clear that we will address the root causes of offending. There's a few legs to that, holding parents accountable, but that is something that we will be focusing on. Where is it here? There it is. And youth boot camps. We've been very clear. When I was door knocking, a lot of people were saying that the Labor candidate for Blaine 4 years ago was walking around talking about boot camps. Well, where are they? Labor had 8 years. Can anyone point me to any youth boot camps that they set up? I'm not aware of any. But I'm proud that this government has taken a plan to the election that we will establish youth boot camps that will start to turn young lives around before they get trapped in the cycle of offending.